I used to rent out my RDP to a Zimbabwean Sangoma. The worst decision that I have ever made in my entire life. Now my whole family is cursed, and people, they don't even know that these curses, they are coming from the time when I was renting out my RDP to this Zimbabwean guy. So me and this Zimbabwean Sangoma, we had a big argument over some of the money that we were owing each other. We used to be the best of best friends, but after this whole nonsense of much and much, it has messed up my entire life. And my family, they do not know what kind of poverty is going to come after them, simply because I was renting out my property and I was also involved. There were other things that he would ask me to do, and he had borrowed me money because I was unable to pay him back this money. I even had other people that went and told him to leave, but I was doing it whilst I was hiding behind other people. He then found out that I was the one that had sent those people to go and chase him from my property, and then he said that he's going to curse me. And now the curses, I can see them, they are affecting me in my life right now. I don't know if I am supposed to tell my family members that they need to pray. They need to find even a Sangoma that can assist them. Otherwise, their lives are going to be very terrible. Right now, there is a target. I do have one of my cousin sister's daughter, and she is in university. If she does not die this year, she might die early next year, because I always hear her voice being mentioned by the Tokoloshes that speak in my house as I am talking to you right now. Brother Nashi, please post my story as anonymous. Do not reveal my real name or the exact location where I am staying here in Gauteng. I am a 44-year-old South African woman, and I am a qualified professional nurse, and I have brought a nightmare upon my family. People, they do not even know that this is what made me to have a lot of money. I was getting a lot of money from this Sangoma because I allowed him to use my house in whatever way that he could, so that he can be able to do his many rituals that he was doing. Brother Nashim, I thought that I had hit a jackpot when I allowed this man to come to my house and to start doing money ritual consultations with the people that came to him. And he would even ask me to steal some stuff, and it is very sensitive. Therefore, I am going to be beating around the bush on that issue, because there were things that I used to steal from the hospital that I would provide him with. These were the things that he would use when he was creating the Tokoloshes. All that I can tell you is that I worked in the maternity ward, so it had something to do with women that would have recently given birth. Later on, when they have gone back home, their babies, they will just die in ways that are unexplainable. If your baby just dies, you need to go and consult or to have someone pray before you bury that child, because babies, they love them. They create Tokoloshes using them, because if a child is born and is supposed to live maybe for 35 to 60 years, they know that for the next 60 years, they in that family, as the Sangoma, like what this man from Zim told me, is that they can sell that Tokoloshe over and over again for the number of years that this child that they would have turned into a Tokoloshe was supposed to live. So most of the mummies out there who have lost their babies, they don't know that after you would have given birth to a live child and then that child suddenly die mysteriously, your child right now maybe is at that same age when where he is supposed to be. Maybe he's 12 years old and he's already working on someone's farm, or is even driving someone's truck, or is even calling people to come to someone's spaza shop or a supermarket being used as a Tokoloshe. So for more than 10 years, my life, Brother Nashim, it was being funded by some medication that I was stealing from the hospital, doing midnight rituals, and I was in a covenant with this Zimbabwean healer until I kicked him out because I was owing him money, which is close to 200,000. I was working as a nurse, and I was working at a busy government hospital here in Gauteng, earning my money through my work. And I was okay, but working as a nurse, the money is good, but you are always having other dreams that you have. And the mistake that I did was that I got married to a man that loved things. Once we got jobs, he was working and I was working. Instead of us waiting until we were totally financially stable, he did not want to wait for such. He just wanted us to get a house quick. He wanted us to have, each one to have a personal car. I said to him that I did not mind. He can come and he can pick me up from work. He can drop me at work in the morning, and life can continue. He then said, no, you can have your car and I can have my own car. We quickly moved from the location and we started to stay in the gated community. The money that we were paying for the rentals on a monthly basis, it was just too much. Before, we had even settled down some of the debts that we were owing because we were taking credit cards, clothing cards, and we had clothing accounts. All of this money, it started to accumulate, and it was a lot of credit that we were owing all at the same time. Instead of just relaxing and saying that let us just relax, let us pay off whatever that we are owing, and then we start afresh again, my husband then said, no, let us buy a house. If we buy a house, then we're not going to be paying the rentals. We did not downgrade. We then spoke with the estate agent, who told us that even in that same estate, there was a house that was going up for sale. The bank easily approved us, and then we moved into the house. The money that we were paying for the rentals, it was even less than the bond that we were going to be paying. So we were excited that we now have a house. We are now rich. As a black person, you are brought to believe that once you have a house, this translates to you becoming a rich person. But this house, it still belongs to the bank. If anything happens along the way, the bank will just get the house that belongs to it. So we started to struggle, me and my husband. That was when I met this other senior nurse. She was already dealing in all of these things. And by the way, I had inherited an RDP house in the location. So at that time, I was putting some tenants, but when you are in debt, even if you have other source of incomes, it will never be enough because you are deep in debt. Then this other senior nurse, she then told me that she wanted to send me to this other Nigerian guy. So she gave me a plastic bag. Inside, I really did not know what was inside of there. She just said that the Nigerian man was going to give me money. I went to this other Nigerian shop and I gave that Nigerian man the plastic bag without even looking. He then gave me a plastic bag. Inside there was a t-shirt. I just saw that there was a soccer jersey that was in there, but I did not see what was inside. I got into my car and I delayed to go and give this senior nurse the money. I did not know that there was money inside. Then something just made me want to open, and I was like, yo, these people, they can make you to carry drugs and you will be arrested. Let me investigate. When I investigated, that was when I saw that inside there was money that was in them. It was hidden inside of the t-shirt. And I said, yo, what are these people up to? Why are they exchanging this money? I then sat with the senior nurse, and then I asked him why she had sent me to that Nigerian, and why that Nigerian man had given me her money, and she had gave me just 200 rand. She then told me that she was dealing with the Nigerian, and this Nigerian man wanted those drugs from the government hospital, like your chronic medication, pain management, and sleeping tablets. And these were the things that she had made me to carry. What if I had gotten arrested by the security brother? So I then asked her how much she was making. She told me that on a good month she can make maybe around 12, 13, 14k. This was not even her salary. Before she would have touched her salary, she was making so much. So she was dealing with another lady from the pharmacy, and then she would also give that lady maybe 3k, and which meant that after all of the expenses, then she would be left with approximately 7. That is a lot of money, my brother. So I then asked him if she could also have me in that syndicate of hers, and she was like, okay, I will see, but we have to open another branch. She meant that we had to find other Nigerians that wanted those drugs, because they can even mix the pills with the other drugs that they make, and then they make more drugs. So I then got involved with another Nigerian until I met the Sangoma that I am talking about. So this Sangoma, I met him because he used to also buy that coffee syrup, and he used to take it to his country like a lot. I don't know the kind of drugs that they make when they take the cough syrup. So I would sell him boxes, and he would go to that place. Then that sister in charge got arrested. I was so much afraid when that sister in charge was arrested, because I'm afraid of jail. And then I told that guy that I don't want to be involved in all of these things. I just want to live my normal life. By then, I tried to clear some of my debt. Life was okay. This guy then said to me that he wanted to rent out the whole RDP. I said, oh, okay, it's fine, because already I had some guys there at my RDP that were also from Zim. They were noisy. The neighbors, they were always complaining. So I agreed to rent out the RDP. He told me that each and every month he would give me 30,000 rands. I said, 30,000 for an RDP? I said, okay. Later on, after he had already given me the money, that was when he came clean with me, and he said that he want me to allow him to do money ritual consultations. So when he said that he wanted people to come and to do ukutwala rituals, death rituals against your enemy, stealing people's husbands, prostitute might come there and they can do those rituals that they can have a lot of men that they will be stealing from their wives. I said, okay, it's fine. 30,000, it is a lot. I had already eaten that 30,000 and I know how nice money is. I agreed. He then told me that he was informing me because he was supposed to inform me first because he needed my approval. I said, what kind of approval do you need from me? He then said that the approval that I want from you, I want you to go with me to the graveyard. When we go to the graveyard, then you give me permission to operate at your house, because this house, it belonged to my auntie. She was the one that said, if I die, I want her, and she meant me to be the owner of that RDP. And then after her death, I started to manage that property So in the location where this RDP was, it's not like a place where people are fighting for accommodation because it is far from the city. You need to take about 2 taxis for you to just come to Joburg. So the rentals there, they are even cheap. Not a lot of people would want rentals in that area. So I was getting all of this money. I said, why not? Let us go to the graveyard. And we went to the graveyard and I said some things like, okay, this man, he has said that he wants to do his rituals at my house and I have allowed him, and by my blood and by the blood of my children and by the blood of my generation, I have allowed him to do those rituals. I did not know that this man, he was creating Tokoloshes. I only found out later on when he started to request that I steal some linen from the hospital and later on I would return them, the ones that had blood, especially if they were those type of a linen that you put and it does not spoil the bed. You can dispose them. The ones that are there nowadays, they were the ones that he wanted the most because they'll be full of blood and no one would even notice that there is a linen that is missing. So I would give to him and they would use that blood to track the child that the mother would have given birth to, who had the blood that would be on that linen, and that child will go home. Maybe after a month the child would pass away and they would go and collect the spirit of that child. They will know where this child would be staying and then they would go and collect. There was even one lady, we used her address and I even accompanied this guy to go to that location where this lady was staying, because you write your address, right? And he did something. He was in the car. He just did something funny with his mouth and he said that he had already spoken with the child and he wanted the child to follow us, and he said that the child's spirit was following us. So he created Tokoloshes. As time went on, I then borrowed money from him. I wanted to do this other business. Unfortunately, this business, Brother Nashi, it did not come out nice. And I ended up owing this Zimbabwean Sangoma friend of mine. I then thought that I was going to pay him, but unfortunately I was unable to pay him until March and March started to come around the corner, and I saw it as an opportunity to chase away this man forever from South Africa so that I won't have to pay him anymore. So I then looked for some boys and I sent them and I said, boys, you know, I want this man out of my house. I never told him that me and him, we have a covenant. Even one of my brother's son, he was there and he was like, get out of my auntie's RDP. And what they did, those boys, they took the animal skins, the bones that he was using to do the rituals, as well as all the muti, the medicine that was at one of the back room which he had built, where he used to store the items that he was using in his Sangoma business. He then called me and he said that, why have I done something that is so evil? And I said, I don't want you at my house anymore. I don't want any problems. And I switched off my phone. And this was after he had asked me about the money that I was owing him, because he was saying that, okay, at least give me this money so that when I go home, I can have a new start. It can help me. That money can help me quite a lot. So I just switched off my phone because I did not have money. After this man had been chased away, I don't know if he went to Zim or not. Then it was one day I had a dream and I saw 5 cats that were entering into my house, and I heard a voice that said, those are Tokoloshes, they are not cats. When we woke up the next morning, the whole mealie meal that was in my kitchen, it had vanished. Those Tokoloshe, they ate the whole mealie meal. Because every month when we go to shop for the groceries, I usually buy a 25 kg, and we do not eat pap like every day. So even the month can come to an end and we still have mealie meal. I was shocked that maybe about 7 kgs was gone overnight. And then In my dream, I was told by that Sangoma, he said that this Tokoloshe is going to stay with you until you would have paid my money back. I don't have money right now that I can release because I am owing the bank other monies. The only solution is for me to sell the RDP. And for me to sell this RDP, it was easy to sell an RDP to a foreigner. And now all the foreigners, they are going because of this much and much nonsense. I don't know where I am going to get money from. And this Sangoma, he has cursed me. He said that because you robbed me, I have put a curse on you. These Tokoloshes, those cats that you saw, they are going to follow you. You remember that covenant that we did at the cemetery? And I said yes. And he said that he gave me these Tokoloshes. He was only waiting to see what kind of a person I was, if I was an honest person or if I was going to rob him his money. Brother, I am cursed already. All these years that this Sangoma used to give me all of this money on a monthly basis, I don't even know what I did with all of that money. This money will just enter into my hands and I will just spend it in ways that I can't even explain. I will buy a car and that car will just die. I'll start a business and that business will give me more headache. So I am here. I am looking for advice. I am tempted to sell this RDP house, but I fear that if I do such a thing with the current situation, I might get arrested. When you post, tell me. I will follow in the comment. Dear listeners, right, there was a message that was sent to us by one of our dear sister who helped us with this translation. Let us speak with our listener who sent this confession. What is she supposed to do? Maybe you need to sit down with your family and then you tell them that this is what you did and they made a mistake when they chased away that Sangoma by throwing away all the things that he was doing. He was using the animal skins, the bones, the mutim, as you have said. They were supposed to be destroyed properly. If there is anyone else who knows what they were supposed to do after this Sangoma, who was doing consultations for people who wanted to do money rituals, how do you dispose of the things that he was using in his shrine? Do you just burn everything? You can come to my inbox and you share with us your own opinion. Let us meet again in the following episode.